course, you might end up watching after the live stream's over since it will automatically be saved out. Just to let you know, I'm using a new service. I'm trying it out rather, so we'll see how it goes. I'll like to get some feedback later. The resolution is 720 DPI, so 720 resolution versus the best, which is 1080. So I'll be curious to see what you think as far as how the resolution is. Hopefully the sound volume is going to be better this time. So as far as the microphone goes, I switched it back to something that I think tests out a little bit better for now. So again, just looking forward to chatting with you. This should be streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube at our YouTube channel. So I'm just going to log in quickly, if I may. Just want to go, I'm going to check on a side screen just to see if I'm seeing anything on Facebook as well as on YouTube, just to get some feedback, since it also buys some time for people to get online as well. So yes, I can see that we have the stream on YouTube is running. So welcome from YouTube. And typically most are actually on Facebook. So I'm going to check the Facebook page right now for Compass. And oh, by the way, messaging should work. There'll be a bit of a lag, but I should be able to see messages as well when they come through. So let me just wait for one moment, and we'll see if that comes through okay. And looks like my broadcast froze, which would not be a good thing. So that might be a problem. So I might have to leave and come back in. Had some problems. I apologize. We had some problems. So I'm still testing to make sure everything's working okay. So hopefully we're good to go now. And I do want to check Facebook, because if Facebook's not working, that would not be good. So I may have been live this whole time, but from my end, my browser and all the services froze, so nothing was moving. So I wouldn't be able to tell how things were going. So live and learn, as they say. And also, again, hopefully it gives people more time so they can get in here. So I'm just waiting for the Compass page to load. Then I should have confirmation. It says I've been live for over 3 minutes. So that's pretty painful. It's a pretty painful fact if that's true, that you've been waiting for 3 minutes. So so let's see what we get here. But yeah, I think we're going to be live here, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just checking Facebook page right now, and there we are. Okay. All right, I see it right there. So we are good to go. So let's go ahead and do that. Thanks, guys, for letting me know I'm coming through loud and clear. So thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, so I didn't know that because everything like was frozen. Nothing. I couldn't even get Chrome to respond. So yeah, I was live the whole time. I was like fiddling around. So what I wanted to do real quickly was give you an official update from Compass on our schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to share my screen just for a second to do that. So let's go ahead and let me move my window over before I actually do that. So let's go ahead and get into sharing mode here. And okay, so what we have here is the schedule, which I'll make a little bit larger. So this was the old schedule. So this actually was posted back in February 25th, as you can see here. So as always, on the left side, we have what's the upcoming titles, and I'll talk about a few that have since released. And then, of course, on the right, on the top right, we have recent releases, so that will always update. And then the added to pre-order list, I actually have several games that are going to be added to pre-order, and I should be announcing those in the next few days. But I thought I'd hold off for now, again, simply because I'm trying out some new things here as far as reaching out to all of you with broadcasting. So don't want to try and do too much at once. So I thought just for today, what we'll do is we'll talk about the update to the schedule. So as you can see, that was our schedule through February 25th. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and share an updated schedule. So I'll go ahead and launch a new window in Chrome so we can go ahead and see that. And I'll actually go to the Compass website. So I'll make the view a little bit larger as well, so you can see it nicely on your screen, so it won't be such an eye strain. So give me one moment. Let's see how big I can go here. I think that's about it right there. And then I think based on this view, we should be good to go. So yeah, that's a pretty readable. Let me just refresh the page because I got a black area in there. Maybe I have to go smaller. Okay. Maybe, yeah, we'll go with that. So now things are a little bit more visible. So let me walk you through the changes to the schedule. So obviously, I hope you're all doing well if you're staying at home, like I think most of you are. I hope your work situation's worked out where you've been set up. If you're working remote based, I hope you're comfortable doing that. I hope all your family members are doing well also. I hope everybody's doing fine. So what I want to do is just start with actually the recent releases that we've had. So specifically in the upper right corner, again, basically we've added a few new items there over the past few weeks. The most recent release was Napoleon's Eagles. That's the card game that we released on 2 battles. And then before that was John Butterfield's World War II Commander Battle of the Bulge. And we also had Paper Wars issue 94, The Fall of Siam, that happened before that. And then America Bomber also happened this year. So again, we've had a few releases this year. But now we're going to turn our attention to the schedule moving forward for the next few months. And for that, I am going to go ahead and zoom in even more because I just want to focus on that section of the web page. So I'm going to hide a bit more here. And I think this is going to give me what I want. I don't want to do that. Right here. So we're going to focus on the left column of upcoming titles. This is quite a bit of a change from what I was showing a second ago. So the lineup has been shuffled somewhat. A lot of that's partly to do with some progress on some projects that I know that I've had where we're actually doing some additional proofing. So the schedule, as you can see it's now official. It's on the Console World forum and also on our home page, which I'm showing here. First, we've moved up Fold-A-Gap. So company scale system Fold-A-Gap is going to be coming this month. That'll be the first release this month. So that's the next game in the company scale system and the first game of the Cold War era. And then we also have from Stefan Newberg, and this is a really nice packaged game. So it was printed overseas, so it's got the mounted map and the oversized counters that you can look at for Dawn of Empire. So that's going to be our second release for this month. So we're looking forward to that one as well. So let me just do one thing. I want to make sure I have my chat screen open, and I don't. So I want to open up chat real quick so I can see who might be making comments in the chat window. So everything looks okay for now. So I'm waiting for new messages. So we're all good. So great. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is what we have coming up for May. So right now I am wrapping up the final changes based on proofing to all the setup and reinforcement displays for Decision at Kasserine. That's the designer signature edition release from Vance von Voorhis. So we're looking good there. So that will be released in May. And then the quad game Brief Border Wars by Brian Train, that will also be a May release. And then finally, we have actually 4 titles for the month of June. Right now we have on our Kickstarter, we have Brotherhood and Unity. So that again has the nice mounted map, excellent displays, counters, has cards, etc. I know that recently Big Board Gaming did a designer interview earlier this week, also with Tomislav, the designer of the game. So that's something maybe worth catching online. And then we did very well with sales of Russia Besieged. So we did the new edition of Russia Besieged. I believe we released it at WBC last summer. And we've got the player's guide that's going to be released in June. And then we spring back to our next issue of Paper War. So that's going to be the game on Hannibal. That will be coming out. I believe that's also a Stefan Newberg design. I'll double check, but I'm quite sure that is by Steven Newberg. And then back in one of my projects I'm working on is the Korean War. That's a designer signature edition by Joe Bukowski. Right now, that project hasn't been as active because I've been working with the artist pretty much primarily on Decision at Kasserine to get that wrapped up. So Korean War, we're going to pick that up here in the next week or two. And lots of charts and tables to do for that game still. And then we'll do the layout of the rules. So that's basically our schedule moving forward. So we did a little bit of reshuffling. Of course, with COVID-19 and schedules coming from China, the good news is that the majority of our print runs are all still done stateside in the U.S. But there was, some slight impact with what's happened overseas in China for some of the projects we've had. But the good news again is, we've got a full schedule of 2 games this month, 2 games again in the month of May, and then we're going to double down and look to do 4 releases during the month of June. And then just a reminder for our ongoing sale, we have that 40% off flash sale. So from our website, if I just click on this for a moment, it will navigate you to our sales page. And now we actually have two sales events taking place. We have the original 40% off. This might look familiar to you, especially those on Facebook Live. So we had this sale's been going on for over 2 weeks now, but we've extended it through April 17th. You can see all the titles that are on here. We also added a few new titles like German Fleet Boats was added, Nation in Arms, and No Peace Without Spain. Those 3 titles were added. But what's new, which we announced this week, was we're doing an additional sale on other select items at nearly the same discount level. So these are fairly recent releases. So we're doing 33% off through April 17th. Again, just for those maybe that are spending more time at home. The good news is our offices are closed in Connecticut. That's really by the state statutes right now. But we are able still to ship products and get them out the door. So if you order immediately, we're able to ship typically same day, or it'll be within 24 hours by next day. But you can see here we've got a few titles that we've added, as well as Paper Wars issues 92 and 93, which are our two most recent Paper War issues. Those are available as well. So again, just want to remind you, we have those 2 sales going on. So with that, and again, this is just a sort of a learning lesson for me. I don't notice any chats coming through right now. So I believe I saw chats coming through. However, here we go. So from Chris Carpenter, Chris was asking about getting Brotherhood and Unity on pre-order. Yes, right now it's on our Kickstarter, Chris. So good comment there. We've had Brotherhood and Unity on pre-order for quite some time. We've switched the page out where it jumps now to our Kickstarter page. And then when the Kickstarter page ends, that will then be switching back over to pre-order mode. So we're looking forward to getting Brotherhood and Unity out. And again, I don't know how many of you have had a chance to watch the Big Boards interview. I also did an interview with Tomislav, the designer, last year. So I'm hoping for those interested in that topic, Sarajevo, Bosnia Herzegovina, that you will check out those interviews. And then NATO War in Europe is doing very well. We have a huge we have a huge project team. So actually, you might want to check out. We completely redid. Actually, let me try to go there. So let me do a search here real quick. It might be worth a try. So we redid the product page description, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going there now. What happened was, again, a lot of the research, which I mentioned earlier by Bruce Maxwell, He had all the new Order of Battle information that got released, after the Cold War, after the period that the game was originally released by Victory Games. Um, he looked at the Order of Battle and he realized, well, the original scenario, it's going to be a steamroll for the Warsaw Pact. He had no idea how many new units had to be accounted for based on the updated research and materials that became available. So what happened is now we're going to have two different time periods of the war. The original, which I believe was around 83, which is one of these, it's really going to be one of these steamroller effects to look at. But then also we're now looking at 1989. So there's a brand new scenario added, focusing on where the play balance really is much better. The disparity of the forces starts going away. I know for the NATO forces, and I'll have Bruce Maxwell on for an interview, that he'll talk about what the Order of Battle. The Order of Battle sort of directed Bruce into the direction of, okay, 83 is really one-sided now, and people are going to slam the game if it comes out that way. So we do, automatic victory conditions. We do things to 83. We still want to give you 83 in the box, but lo and behold, you're going to be really shocked to see what 83 would have looked like based on current research that Bruce does a great job of accumulating, and he's done a great job of that. So now we're looking at 1989. So 1989 is added, completely new situation. There's also a fourth scenario added. If you look here, there's a fourth scenario called the War of Nerves. They're actually playtesting the War of Nerves right now. If you hop on over to our Facebook page, this morning I posted from Fred Schwartz. He's one of the playtesters, and he also does a great job. He actually posts on Facebook some of his after-action reports just from his playtests using Vassal for NATO, the new design, the updated design. And he's actually solitaire playtesting the War of Nerves right now. So I definitely say check out the Facebook page, and you'll learn more about the War of Nerves. So NATO's looking very good. The counters are getting done right now for the game. The map production's getting done. It's Bruce Yerian doing the artwork, and Bruce Yerian and Bruce Maxwell. It's funny having two Bruces on the same project. That's always tricky when I write correspondence. Who I'm talking to between designer and artist. So we got the two Bruces, but they're gelling very well together right now. It's really amazing how great a job these two are. They're lock in sync, lock in step. So also they're working together on the Air and Armor, the new edition of Air and Armor, and a flash update on Air and Armor. The counter sheet is going to the printers on Monday of next week, and this I think everybody will be excited about. So we've got eight counter sheets for Third World War series. So that's the complete, new edition, new graphics, everything that we've done to the Third World War series, which is available for pre-order. That's been going on for a long time. The team spent over 3 to 4 months just proofing the counters because it was finding the originals and adding new markers and changing some of the color coding and making the game just smarter so it's easier to play with. So those 8 counter sheets for Third World War series are also going to printers on Monday. So some big progress, some really key progress. That's a big milestone. So for Third World War series, and I'll show it in a future episode, I could show you all the counter sheets because they're all done and they've been proofed for 3 months. So, doing an errata-free game with well over 1,000 counters or 2,000, probably not doable, but we've had, 5, 6 guys, looking at them for 3 months over 5 or 6 different times and proofing over each other on top of it. So it's really humanly possible about all we could do for that. So I'm really excited about Third World War series. Also, the 6 game maps are done and they're fully proofed. So where we are with Third World War series, and I'll do an update on that, in the future, is we're basically now getting to the charts and tables and all the new displays we're going to be adding to the game. And then we get to tackle the 4 rule booklets because there's 4 games in Third World War series. So some major milestones happening on those games. So let me do this. I'll go ahead and switch my view here. I think I can just stop sharing for a moment, and a little easier to talk to you this way. I probably should have done that earlier. So again, I hope this information was helpful as far as just getting out the word today. As far as what the update is. So today, April 2nd, we did our schedule update. So hopefully we're all set now. You can visit our website for the schedule update and see what we've done. Last thing I want to do is I still want to take some of your questions. So yeah, when was the live session announced? So hi, hey Rich, how you doing? So I just stumbled on it myself because I basically just decided to go live. So I'm very informal already by nature, but I'm testing some different setups and configurations right now. So I'm stumbling along. As you can see, I'm stumbling a lot. It's very rough for me right now. I'm learning some new systems and some new software. So I know it's not going to be polished where I can present in my head quite as smoothly as I want. So this is sort of practice for me, if that makes sense. So my video I did yesterday was with a very expensive microphone, awesome microphone. I won't say what I spent on it, and you'll notice the hissing sounds and all that. And it's either because I had a bad XLR cable, which I've since reordered a new one, a premium cable, or my system input levels were too low. So why would I spend like 4 times for a microphone and have shitty quality? It's because I don't know what I'm doing, basically, is why. So I'm using a hyper mic, which I think works a lot better. So, but this service, if I don't know if I want to stick with this or not. So one example is the top resolution is a very low HD. It's 720, and I want to get to 1080. I want to get to the top level, which I had with Zoom. It's just a very clear, crisper picture. So if you guys tell me that this is just too annoying, that the visuals are too hard to see, especially when I start showing next week. I'll show you some counter sheets and show you some game maps. If we find out, I know for the service I'm using, 1080 is on their roadmap, or the next, the highest level resolution's on their roadmap, but it's not here yet. So this is the best HD level we have, which is obviously it's a step back from Zoom, but this is a really easy service to use. And then this service does allow me to basically restream live broadcasts. So basically, I know I'm doing a horrible job right now, but if I know I'm going to do such a horrible job, I can actually just go in and do a recording on my own, and I can have it scheduled to go live. So it's like a fake live broadcast, so you'll all get an advance announcement, but it's not really live, if you know what I mean. So it's not quite the real thing, but yeah, it helps me get the word out. So in the future, as I learn this system, I'm going to do a mixture. I'm probably just going to jump on at different times because you can always see the broadcast. If you catch it live like you did, Rich, you can just watch it, or it will just replay, and I can also download. And if I want to post on YouTube at some point for any important broadcasts, I'll do that as well. So this was more or less just a practice session for me to chat with you guys. Just to give you the schedule update. We hadn't done a schedule update in about 2 months. And I've been really, it's been a little crazy just because I came off Expo Dallas quite a while ago, early March, and that was great. But I've since had to deal with the hotel for Expo in Tempe, Arizona, our 20th anniversary, and we had to move the date out to August. And hopefully August will happen. But you know how crazy things are right now, and I know for our international travelers, August will be very tough for them. But August is our last chance for this year. So we've got that, and then just getting Kasserine project done. I'll share with you, so I'll be very informal. So if those are interested with you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the software I use for my projects that I manage. It's just easy for me to manage projects a certain way. It just goes back to my project management background. So I like a service called Basecamp. I've used it for years. So I'm going to give you an example real quickly. We'll go ahead and switch modes here, and I'm going to switch over. Let me just move my window over. We're going to switch over to share my screen again. So let me go ahead and see if I can do that real quickly. So there we go. So I believe I'm streaming my screen now, and you should be able to see my screen. So if not, you'll yell at me in the chat area that I have here. So just yell at me if you don't see my screen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Basecamp, a lot of different projects going on. So let me show you sort of the level of detail I go through. And then I don't know if you can see this. So on camera here, I'm probably a small box right now. So I'll switch it out just, let me just go to my mode here for a second. So right here you'll see, so for the session at Kasserine, we've got a total of 6 displays. So this is an example of the Axis setup card, setup for scenario 2 and reinforcements. You can see what I've done is I've sort of done some handwriting over the hard copy, some checks, just some checks of things that need to be done. And I've done it, across the board. So here's this is actually a share. This is sort of a unique card. Scenario 1's only 6 turns long, so you actually have the game turn track on the card. And then there's just a few units. It's less than, say, 35 units total, maybe 40 with the air units. So as you can see, I'm going through these. I actually have the advantage that I have the counter sheets for the game already printed, of course. So this is great. So I'm able to go through and do all this stuff. So what happens is I'm working with Ilya, who's a great artist, by the way. So I'm working with Ilya, and let me just show you in Basecamp now what's happening here. So just to give you an example, so working on this right now, I'll go back to a few messages here. Okay, so I think I can start right here. So hope this is okay, just to give you an idea of the edits that get done. So I think I picked a good spot here, right? Okay, now here we go. So here's an example just of correspondence that takes place. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys if you want to sort of look over my shoulder and see what I'm saying. So here, okay, here I'm going through notes. Want to get some standardization of the card. So how we actually say how many, if there's multiple units needed, I want to make sure it's done the same way. So instead of using like an X with a number, I said, let's get rid of those. Let's go with the white circle because I like those more. We didn't have any special, there's unit withdrawals called for in the game, like you're seeing in this image right here. But in the original, you can't see it because I'm small on the screen. On the original displays, there was no special border or marking around unit withdrawals, and I think that should grab special attention for the viewer, that you've got units you gotta move out or take away off the board. So basically, my guidance to Ilya, and he did a great job. It doesn't look like this; it looks much better than that. But he did, he provided some kind of a checkered pattern over the units, and then added some hex number coordinates. So on some setup displays, we just had a named location. To make it nicer, I think, for the gamers, I added the actual hex range location so you could spot it on the map much quicker. So there's some changes. Vance, the designer, helped out. So of course I'm working with Vance. Had some simple errata on the display, so we fixed and replaced a unit, artillery, with the proper headquarters unit. And then I did a big update here. Quite a few changes again. So as I go scrolling through here, et cetera, et cetera. And then some units need release markers on them, but we weren't showing the release markers on the display. So we came up with this plan. I like this plan the most. So on this one, we added on the unit display itself, you'll see this little release marker. So if you stack units together, you just put one on the stack. If you decide, it just depends how, in this case, these units are stacked together because each designation is just 1 unit per hex, or in the middle for 2830, it's those 3 units. So we're literally showing you, okay, make sure you place the release 5 marker on those units. We didn't have that before, and I actually have to add it in a few more areas on the display. But yeah, that gives you an idea of what we need to do there. So that's and then what the cards are going to say, again back on the displays. What the cards are going to actually say. So that's where I'm at. So again, just want to share with you, a little bit. I hope that helps. So so when I do proofing like something like this, it all could be correct. But like from a mnemonic standpoint, or just to make the game a little smarter and be better for housekeeping purposes. Like add the hexes for the town labels, just small things like nitpicky stuff like that. That's sort of like what I'm doing basically. So I hope that explains a little bit about what's going on. So I'm really excited about Decision at Kasserine. I'm just going through the final displays, and then the rules themselves already being laid out. So we're actually doing really well on schedule with that. So let's see. So Jonathan just received a notice I went live. Now that I'm a professional live streamer. Yeah, nice try, Matt. Nice try. I don't think that will ever happen. Non-reflective lenses. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe if I haven't spent so much money on that damn microphone from yesterday that was crap, I could have got really nice non-reflective glasses. So okay, there's a tip from Matt. He's the pro streamer. I need different glasses. So anyway, so great questions. Thanks so much. So just to let you know, on YouTube there's Compass Live, or I'm sorry, there's our Compass channel. You can subscribe to YouTube, and this is also being pushed out at the same time to YouTube. I don't know which looks better quality video wise. I'll be very happy when we get back to the highest resolution, but I hope this was okay. Is Korea War, so Jonathan Nuestra is asking, is the Korean War remake good for June? So that's with me. So see, I sort of hesitated because I'm thinking about where the project is. It got delayed. It's my fault because Kasserine, I had to get more work done on that. And I also had the artist do a little bit of leapfrogging on some other projects. I'll give it, do you want another example? I'll show you guys something else if you want to hang out. I'll show you what I mean by another project update if you want to see it. So just say yes. If Facebook says no, I won't do it. But I'll show you this artist that I'm using for Korean War. He's also done something else for me for a project, which I'm excited about. So if there's anybody on Facebook or on YouTube, okay, yes, somebody said yes. So I'm going to go ahead and deliver. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna actually hide myself completely, and let me show you what I got for you. So here's a little treat. So same artist. So again, Korean War for June, yes, because Kasserine's gonna go out pretty soon here. I'm just wrapping up the final proofing, and then the rules layout looks good. So then I'll be moving on to Korean War next. But let me show you. This is a treat. This is probably one of the nicest maps I've seen in a while. And between you and me, the 3W version of this game was a disaster. It was an unmitigated disaster. And I'm not panning 3W at all. That's actually good news, because for Designer Signature Edition, if I can get a hold of a really good game that had some serious problems when it was being released, that's great because of the errata and everything. So what I've got here is Hitler's Last Gamble. And this is what I'm excited about. I don't know if I can view full. Okay, I'll try to view full size here. This is not a full download. It's a big file. It's 28 megabytes. It's 2 maps. So the amount of historical. So if you guys, you know Danny Parker, so he's known for writing some great books. He worked at SPI. He did Battles for the Ardennes for SPI, which was late 1970s, I want to say that Danny did that. Hitler's Last Gamble is an awesome game he did. It was done by Hobby Japan. It's a real collector's item if you can get the detergent-sized box of Hitler's Last Gamble. And again, this is scrolling. This is real-time scrolling. This is how slow it's scrolling for me on my laptop. It's not a super fast laptop, but it just gives you an idea of there's a lot of data in here. So look, I've just zoomed in, right? So with Danny Parker, he's got some people. How do I say this? He's got some historical experts that really know survey maps, and they take the historical maps that were really used during World War II, like the really detailed maps. And we've got, and hopefully you'll agree here, this is a frickin' detailed. We've got the slope line. So literally, I don't think I want to zoom in anymore, or I can't. Let's see, I can't. So you're spared for now because I'm not using Photoshop. But there's little brown, I don't know if you can see it. It's very faint. There's very faint, you probably can't see it on screen, but there's very faint brownish contour lines. Those are seriously, those are elevation lines taken from the source maps for Ardennes. It's crazy. Like the original maps that it's based on, like U.S. Geology, Army, whatever they were called. So we're cramming all this information, but of course in a usable, you know what, the game map has to be functional. You have to know what the different terrain types are, what matters for play purposes. Some might be cosmetic, might not have any true effect, like on terrain effects chart. We are really striking a balance there, but all the obvious terrain that you see, two types of roads, you can see some ridge lines, you can see those, the forest, mixed terrain, villages, hilltop points. You're sort of seeing it all. Like I think it's all coming through as a first look. So you can, as you can imagine, this is probably the most detailed map job I think I've seen Ilya as an artist have to deliver on. He spent a huge amount of time, as you would expect, to get this right, because he's literally like for example, the road network. Okay, seriously, guys, this is how serious we're getting here with this. We're talking about from a historical perspective, the road going through Bastogne historically needs to go through the right way. We don't want the map, even just that one hex, the way the road network works for Bastogne. And here we have the road coming down. It's still bending. It should be going from right bending to left. So in other words, in a westerly direction from east to west. Here it's actually it's curving, I don't know, it's almost a straight line. So that's where we're actually going here, saying no, we've got to make this road actually have this proper curvature that it's going to be coming out to the west. So we're going a little nuts with this game map, and I think one of the selling points of the map is going to be a beautiful, highly, highly detailed map. And again, Hitler's Last Gamble is really a great game design, but if you own the 3W version, you can probably raise your hands with me that it was a complete beast of a game. Tons of errata. Something basic like the silhouettes of the armor units weren't to scale. So the smallest tanks were actually the biggest pictures on the counters. Some really weird stuff like that. The map wasn't usable because of just the artwork. So again, just an amazing project. So that's my very long-winded answer. Again, on why maybe Korean War why it's appropriate to be June, because we've also got some other works going on. Can I pronounce some of these towns on here? Okay, kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. So vielleicht like Kobscheid, Wischeid, Schlauchenbach, Schornberg, Meyerode, Herschbach. So, I have bastardized German because I was in Zurich, Switzerland, which is not proper High German. So I could probably fake maybe some German enunciations here. But maybe when the map is released, we'll do a 2-hour session. We'll get a German linguist or whoever linguist, or French. If you want to do French linguist, you name it, we'll have them pronounce. We'll have them announce every possible, how to pronounce everything. Foldagap, did I mess with the update? I don't know, David, if you messed with the update. I don't know. If you're a playtester, you probably did. No, I'm joking. We have a great project team. We have about 18 to 20. I'll show you. So just a little, and then we'll end it for today. So I'll show you how crazy the playtesting is for NATO. It's amazing. So for NATO, check this out, guys. So this is Bruce Maxwell's project. NATO playtest. How many playtesters do we have? Seriously, guys. These are active playtesters. This is very unique. I'll just show it briefly because the emails are in here. These are all the folks in the project. So we have a very active NATO project, as you can see here, with a lot of messages, a lot of testing going on. So yeah, so NATO, as you can see, is a bit crazy. So anyway, so I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Sorry I didn't do any live sessions, again, just with the expo dates and stuff going on and wanting to get some projects wrapped up. Couldn't really get myself to sit down, and especially with some new interesting technologies I want to try out, like this one. Hopefully this can work. That's fine. John, could you show a Third World War counter sheet? Yes, I will show a Third World War counter sheet, since you guys are being nice enough to bear with me. So I will go to Third World War series. Again, my laptop's not the fastest right now, so I might sort of cheat and just and I might just show it in the browser. Not, in other words, I won't show you like the high res version, if that makes sense. So I'll share my screen here to give you an idea of what they look like. So just to give you guys an idea again on how great this is going to be, you know, on the screen. So again, yeah, it's a little tricky here. And then it would probably take me too long because the download, yeah, it's 574. I'll try the download just this one. So let's go ahead and bring it down. And I'll be nice to you guys here. So I'll show it to you live. So here we go. So I'll make this bigger so you can get an idea what it looks like. So as you can see, there's a ton of attention going on. So Eric's part of the project team. We have what I look for with every Designer Signature Edition project. I look for true experts and veterans of the game. So Eric is one of those for sure. And, you know, Frank Chadwick's been helping consult. We've got some color bands going on here because we're trying to help with the formations. Also, some of the codings. Got some triangles, circles. You know, we've got some things going on. All this obviously will be explained in the rules for the game. We have a very nice display. I don't think I could probably find it in time that explains how all this sort of shakes out as far as the actual information. We have an actual key for it. So let me see if I can locate a key. Probably won't, but let me try just to see. I'm scrolling through here. There's so many messages I probably won't be able to do it, but I'll save it for another. Oh, here's a key. Okay, so here you go. So this gives you an idea, and I'll download this for you guys as well. So this is a key we'll print out for the game. And again, I'll make it a little bit bigger. So that color coding you were seeing earlier, so you'll have some historical reference points. Again, we do have the IDs on the counters as well. So you see those in parentheses. You know, you'll see those on the counters. So you know, you have that information on the counters already. Don't get me wrong. So in this case, we're seeing in this PDF. And here's the actual, here's the a lot of attention for detail. I'll tell you what, this is going to be pretty amazing re-release of Third World War series. I think it's definitely going to be worth the wait. This is just a draft edition, by the way, so this could change. But yeah, the counters are going to print on Monday, so the counters are done. We might just, maybe the display might have a typo here or there, but this gives you the level of detail involved with the project for Third World War series. So really have to get Keith. I'm drawing a blank right now. Have to get the designer on for sure to talk about the game. I just mentioned his name. I don't know why I'm having a problem right now with that. But Frank Chadwick. Yeah, Frank Chadwick. Thank you. So really should have him on to talk about the project. But as you can see, we're really excited. Really excited about the project. So thanks, Eric. Happy to showed you one of the counter sheets. Of course, there's double sides to them. So, you know, there's just, the counter sheets really look awesome. They really came out to be gorgeous. So anyway, guys, I think we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put you out of your misery now. So if you caught this live, sorry I didn't give you a heads up. Again, I'm just testing things here a little bit. I like to keep things informal. But yeah, in the future, we'll do some... We'll do some recordings. We'll also give some heads up in advance of when we're going to go live. But I think I've answered all your questions pretty much. I hope so. And thanks very much, Rowan, for your order. And Rowan, I still owe you that template for that project. I know we talked about that one project. I was going to get you a rules template for. I got to get out of the Victory at Sea for John Edwards. So yeah, I hope you're doing okay in Australia, and yeah, looking forward to getting those games to you. So again, thanks everybody. It was really it's really a pleasure talking with you today. Hope you're all hope you're doing all well at home. I haven't had a haircut in a little bit. Haven't got my hair done. As you can see, I've got some. I'm in the fringe state of this sort of stay out of trouble mode right now. So. I hope you're all doing okay. And again, look forward to talking to you again real soon, guys. Take care. Don't forget our special offer. If you're looking to pick something up, we're doing the special offer through April 17th. So we really hope you guys find something you'd like to pick up if you haven't already. Take care, guys. It was great talking with you. It was great to hang out with you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.